The key to hemochromatosis is magnesium. A lot of the people that I speak to with hemochromatosis are worried that it's a genetic form of hemochromatosis, but it doesn't matter whether it's genetic or whether it's just hemochromatosis. All that it's representing is that there is an iron loading issue. A lot of the times with the genetic form of hemochromatosis, my clients are worried that they aren't able to manage it because it's a genetically there, then it means that all hope is lost and there has to be these blood donations throughout the life. But we can manage it because it's really just showing us that iron isn't being loaded properly. Now there's a few things to keep in mind when we're talking about having excess iron. That can come from a whole host of different things. That can come through when our minerals are passed down to us and it's been in excess of iron, or possibly when we've had too many iron supplements or iron infusions, or when we've had multiple blood transfusions. So if you've watched any of the videos on my page, you know that I talk a lot about how iron moves, how copper and vitamin A in the form of retinol are critical for that. But the reason that I'm saying that magnesium has a huge role in hemochromatosis is because when iron isn't being loaded properly, then that is really stressful on the body. So that is where we are going to get to an extreme state of magnesium loss. We lose magnesium under stress, and when iron can't move properly, that's very stressful. Part of the reason why low vitamin D is common for those who have hemochromatosis is because we need magnesium in order to convert the storage form of vitamin D into the active form of vitamin D. And if we are already depleted in magnesium, then it's going to affect that process. The physiological way that women regulate iron is through monthly blood loss. So when we are looking, if we just take that out of the picture and we look at how iron is regulated, I want you to Google physiological way to excrete iron. And you'll see that it talks about how iron can build up in the gut. So if we're talking about IBS or people can't absorb things properly, well, yeah, it's because iron has accumulated in the gut. And so there is absolutely a reason why if you're struggling with hemochromatosis, you're depleted in magnesium and you're struggling with, say, heart palpitations or having heart struggles. And then, if you throw diabetes in with that because you need copper in order to properly manage blood sugar, or if you're not absorbing nutrients properly because iron has accumulated in the gut, it's really all connected. Even if you're taking a magnesium supplement, it's probably not enough, because if you think of filling up a cup with holes in the bottom, think of that as the holes as dysregulated iron. And so even if you're taking a magnesium supplement, part of the issue is that it's still not able to stay in the body. It's not being regulated because it's getting depleted really fast. And that's what happens when iron isn't regulated properly. So the long-term solution, on top of, all the blood donations that you've been told, is focusing on how iron moves. If we can get iron loaded properly, then that can be a huge win, because that means it's going to start to become more regulated. So what that means is things like cod liver oil as a rich form of vitamin A. Now, the form of cod liver oil matters. I only like 3 brands, one being Jigsaw, one being Formula IQ, and another one being Rosita. It depends on which country you're in as to where you're going to source them from. But iHerb is typically a really easy source that has free shipping and a great way to go. Another thing that can be helpful is beef liver. Beef liver is high in copper. That's something else that the body needs. And it's also high in B vitamins. So that is really, really important too when we are talking about getting the body back to balance. Because sometimes if you add in, say, for example, the MTHFR, then what can happen is B vitamins can be depleted really quick. And so having something that's a whole food form rich in them can be really beneficial. And then on top of that, a magnesium supplement. So it doesn't have to be a magnesium supplement. There's lots of ways that you can go about doing it topically, whether it's a magnesium spray or a foot soak or having a bath with some magnesium. There's tons of different ways that we can go about increasing our magnesium on top of our diet. So if I were going to give you 3 tips for hemochromatosis, it would be cod liver oil, beef liver, and magnesium. If you want to learn more about the supplements that I like and see some examples of some of my favorite ones, then head on over to the links in my bio where I break down my 4 favorite supplements and why I like them so much.